Oh man, what am I gonna do? I have to finish this before 5.
Oh! Okay.
Yeah, I'm alright. I was trying to finish my dot book, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Wait, seriously? I already finished them. In fact, I already finished 10.
Can I have one?
Yeah, but you know that every single dot is different, right? Like, I'm trombone 9 and you're...
T00.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you can.
Oh, it's 2:30 already? How am I supposed to finish this?
Hey son, are you a first-year marcher?
Who is this?
Don't know how to write your dot book?
No. But if worse comes to worse, I can just follow the person in front of me.
Ho ho ho, son. That is definitely not a good idea.
Why not? I thought marching band was just shapes. I can just follow the person in front of me and try to fit in.
Now, there's more to marching band than just a bunch of lines and circles. And plus, he sees everything.
Okay, so how do I make a dot book?
Hold your horses there, kiddo. You can't just make a dot book all willy-nilly. There are some things you have to learn before you just jump in and write your dot book. With our simple video and a handful of helpful tips, you'll be a dot book making wizard in no time.
Dot Books for a Better America. Chapter 1. The Football Field. When the members of the National Football League aren't throwing the old pigskin, football fans all across the country enjoy the exquisite music stylings of high school marching bands. On the football field. The football field is 100 yards long. Here is the 50-yard line, which is a center yard line between two end zones. 5 yards out on either side of the 50-yard line, there are the 45-yard lines. 10 yards out, there are the 40-yard lines. In the marching band, we are also concerned with the front hash, the back sideline, and the front sideline. The front sideline is where your audience is during performances. Yard lines, hashes, and sidelines are useful reference points when you are learning drill. Chapter 2. Drill. This is a drill sheet. It is a map for the locations of all the performers during a given set of the show. Just like the football field, you'll notice that each drill sheet has yard lines, front hashes, back hashes, and 2 sidelines. The director's viewpoint is in front of the front sideline. This is a text box. In this text box, you'll see the set number, also known as the page number. A whole show can have as many as 50, 60, or even 70 sets. Also, in this text box are the measure numbers and the number of counts represented by the set. In this set, performers will move 12 counts, and then hold 4 counts for a total of 16 counts. These 16 counts will last 4 measures, from measure 11 to measure 14. Now, you might be wondering why there are so many more lines than on the football field. Like I mentioned earlier, a drill sheet is like a map, and like every good map, this map has a grid. This grid is set by 8 to 5 steps, so that each yard line is separated by 8 lines, and each line represents 1 step. On the football field, there are yard lines every 5 yards. Thus, an 8 to 5 step is a step size that allows you to take 8 steps to cover 5 yards. Bold lines between the front sideline and the back sideline represent tick marks, which you will see on the practice field. Tick marks are seen every 4 steps along a yard line. Chapter 3. The Coordinate Sheet. Look at all these dots on this drill sheet. As a performer, you will receive a coordinate sheet, which is a computer printout of a chart with coordinates for just your own dot in the show. Every performer's coordinate sheet is different. Here's an example. Just like you learn directional terms like north, south, east, and west, we have our own vocabulary in the marching band. Let's start with left, first, right. There is only one 50-yard line on the football field, but there are 2 of each of the other yard lines. In our band, we will distinguish between the 2 by referring to them as left or right, according to the performer's perspective. Thus, if you are standing on the 40-yard line and facing the front sideline, and the 50-yard line is on your right, you are on the left 40-yard line. In other words, the term left or right is in reference to your position relative to the 50. If someone asks you what yard line you're next to, don't just say that you're next to the 40.
Hey David, what's your dot?
I'm next to the 40.
Wrong.
Wait. I mean, I'm next to the left 40.
But wait, how do we know which side of the 40 you're on? Most of the time, your dot will not exactly be on a yard line. More often than not, your dot will be a few steps off of a yard line. In order to make this distinction, we use the term inside or outside. If you are standing the side of a yard line that brings you further away from the 50, you are outside that yard line. If you are standing on the side of a yard line that brings you closer to the 50, you are inside that yard line. And kids, here's another tip. If your dot is 4 steps away from a yard line, you will be standing dead center between 2 yard lines. In this case, don't say that you are 4 steps inside of the left 40. Instead, we use a special term, splitting.
I'm splitting the 40 and 45.
Finally, the coordinate sheet also provides information about your coordinates front to back. This information will always reference either the front hash, the back hash, the front sideline, and rarely the back sideline. The football field only has hashes to help you with front to back coordinates. However, our practice field is marked with a tick mark every 4 steps along each yard line. Remember though, that these are only for practice.
Say, pal, what's eating you now?
Well, I still don't know how to write my dot book, and Dean's gonna kill me. Literally.
Chapter 4, the final chapter, the dot book. To write your dot book, you must draw into your dot book all of the important information about each set. One set gets 1 page in your dot book. A good way to start is by labeling your dot book page. Include the set number, the number of beats in the move, and the measures included in the move. Next, draw a simple picture of your dot from the information on your coordinate sheet. Here, this performer's coordinate sheet says that his dot for set number 14 is 1 step outside of the left 40 and 10 steps in front of the front hash. Notice that this swell marcher drew tick marks to help with his front to back coordinate. If his dot is 10 steps in front of the front hash and there is a tick mark every 4 steps, that means that his dot is located between the second and third ticks in front of the front hash. Isn't that grand? Some performers also find it helpful to always mark in their dot books the direction of the 50 relative to their dot, like so. Finally, your dot book should include any special notes about the set, such as horn position and visuals.
That's all?
That's it.
But that's so simple.
You're right. It's easy to make a dot book, but remember, your dot book is your lifeline in the marching band. Bring it to every marching practice, because from now on, as long as you're learning or rehearsing drill, you're going to need it. In fact, your drill book is handy in many situations in addition to drill practice, such as a stylish necklace during practice, a powerful fan to provide you with a soothing breeze during those hot summer practices, an exquisite pencil holder for your personalized marching band pencil, a snazzy sundial.
Hey David, what time is it? 3:17.
And last but not least, a useful weapon in the event of a sudden zombie apocalypse! So be sure to have your dot book at every practice. In fact, leave it in your band locker when it's not in use, because a happy dot book is a dot book not left at home.